Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect. Just a quick hit through the spirit, Lord willing to edify.
In today's connected world, we rely heavily on the grid to power our daily lives. Electricity is a cornerstone of modern living, powering everything from lights to refrigerators, medical equipment, and sewage systems. But what happens if the grid fails? If you've ever wondered about the impact of a prolonged power outage, this is your guide. Today, we'll discuss how to survive a grid failure when essential services like running water, electricity, medical devices, and sanitation are no longer available. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Doomsday Prepper for more survival tips like these. When the grid goes down, many of the conveniences we take for granted cease to function. Without power, electric pumps won't be able to supply clean drinking water. Refrigerators will stop working, risking your food supply. And those who rely on medical equipment like oxygen machines or refrigerated insulin face grave risks. Communication networks might fail, leaving you in the dark about what's happening outside your immediate area. Sanitation systems, which rely on electric-powered pumps, may collapse, creating serious health risks. Water, the most vital resource. One of the first and most critical issues you'll face during a grid failure is the lack of access to running water. In most modern systems, electric pumps are used to deliver water to your home. When the power goes out, these pumps stop working, and you're left without a reliable water source. The best way to prepare for this is by having a backup water supply. Start by storing at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 3 days. But if you're prepping for a longer-term grid failure, it's smart to have much more. Consider 30 days of water supply for each person in your household. Invest in large water containers or barrels that you can fill in advance. Another option is to collect rainwater. Set up a rainwater collection system, including barrels, gutters, and filters, to capture and purify rainwater. Be sure to include purification tablets, filters, or a portable water purifier like a LifeStraw or Sawyer filter in your prep kit. This can be a vital source of water when traditional supplies are unavailable. In addition to stored and collected water, it's essential to know where you can access water outside your home. Map out nearby natural water sources such as rivers, lakes, or streams. But keep in mind that even natural water sources need to be purified before drinking. Never drink untreated water unless you're absolutely certain it's safe. In more extreme cases, you can even use snow or ice as a water source, though it's essential to melt it safely to avoid contamination. Consider carrying a portable stove or using your fireplace if available to safely melt snow into drinkable water. Food. Dealing with spoiled supplies. When the power goes out, your refrigerator and freezer will stop working, which can lead to spoiled food. If you're in an area that regularly experiences power outages, it's a good idea to have a non-electric way of preserving food. Canning is a time-tested method for preserving fruits, vegetables, meats, and more. You can store food in glass jars and preserve it using a pressure canner. If you don't already can, it's a skill worth learning, and it can help keep your food supply viable during an extended grid failure. Additionally, having a stockpile of non-perishable food items is essential. Canned goods, freeze-dried meals, rice, beans, and pasta can last a long time without refrigeration. These can form the backbone of your emergency food supply. Look for foods that provide a balanced nutritional profile, including proteins, carbohydrates, and essential vitamins. One often overlooked option is dehydrated food. This can include fruits, vegetables, and even full meals. Dehydrated food is lightweight, compact, and has a long shelf life. You can purchase pre-packaged meals or create your own by dehydrating fresh produce. Another great option is MREs, meals ready to eat, which are designed for long-term storage and are an excellent solution for a grid failure scenario. If you have a generator or alternative power sources like solar panels, this can help keep your fridge and freezer running for a limited time. But remember, fuel shortages could impact the functionality of generators, so it's important to plan accordingly. Medical equipment. Planning for vulnerabilities. Another critical concern during a grid failure is medical equipment. For those who
Keep in mind, the average person do not have these items. They may have access to these items, but they don't have these items for different reasons. It could be financial, or that they're just delusional that these things won't take place, or they're just unaware. Okay, they're just caught up in the fairy tale of Babylon the Great, and that, everything will be taken care of by either their local authorities or the GOV. Well, I'm here to tell you now that that is not the truth. Okay, most people, when this thing do take place, when the economy collapses, when the grid system actually fails, or if an EMP hits, a lot of people are through. All right, a lot of people are just going to be completely through. Why? Because we rely on these things. Okay, but you don't know how easy these things can be taken from you. But I'll further go into that just a little bit more.
Rely on electric-powered devices like oxygen concentrators, CPAP machines, or refrigerated medications, a power outage could quickly become life-threatening. To prepare for this, ensure that you have backup systems in place. For example, consider purchasing a backup power source, like a portable generator or an uninterruptible power supply, UPS, for essential medical devices. Solar-powered chargers can also provide a renewable, off-grid solution. For critical medications that need refrigeration, consider investing in a portable refrigerator or cooler that can run on a battery or solar power. If you rely on prescription medications, talk to your doctor about getting extra supplies in advance. Keep your medication in its original packaging and make sure to store it in a cool, dry place. For medical devices that require charging, consider using a solar-powered charger or power bank to keep them operational for as long as possible. If you or a family member rely on a ventilator, oxygen machine, or other life-sustaining devices, look into obtaining portable battery-operated versions of these machines if possible. In case of prolonged power outages, hospitals or medical centers may be overwhelmed, so it's important to be as self-sufficient as possible in managing critical health needs. Sanitation, avoiding health risks.
In this society, Esau do not teach you to be self-sufficient. You got to kind of learn these things on your own. All right. But you see who's mainly doing this? Esau. Okay. In them rural areas, the people in the cities are going to be the first ones done. Okay. They're going to be the first ones to lose it because they're the ones who mainly rely on, the resources that is, I'm not going to say freely given to us, but that we use, right? But as easily as they allow us to use these things, it's just as easy as they can take it, right? And that's just dealing with on what's the word? What is it called? I can't think of the word. Lord willing, it'll come back to me. Let's continue.
Sanitation becomes a significant issue during a grid failure, especially in urban areas where sewage treatment plants
through the different executive orders dealing with martial law.
Rely on electric pumps. When the power goes out, waste treatment systems may cease to function, and you could be left without a way to safely dispose of waste. In preparation, set up a backup sanitation system. This can include portable toilets, composting toilets, or simply having a plan for waste disposal. If you live in an area with reliable rainfall, consider using a rainwater collection system for flushing. You can also use a bucket system with lined bags to handle waste until you can dispose of it properly. Hygiene is equally important. Keep a stockpile of hygiene supplies like soap, hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, and toilet paper. In an extended grid failure, maintaining proper hygiene can help prevent the spread of disease. This includes washing your hands regularly and cleaning surfaces that may be contaminated. If you have access to an outdoor area, consider creating a designated waste disposal site. It could be a simple pit toilet, or if you live in a rural area, you might want to dig a composting pit. The goal is to create a system that helps minimize health risks and ensures waste is managed properly. Be sure to always bury waste properly and keep sanitation practices high on your list of priorities during a grid failure. Communication. Staying informed. In a grid failure, communication becomes a challenge. Without power, your phone may not charge, and traditional forms of communication, like landlines, could be down. It's important to have backup communication systems in place. One option is to invest in a hand crank or solar-powered radio. These radios...
Now, that's all I can, play for the moment for the lack of time, but to throw this out there, what average person, right, who you know of is actually doing this? What person do you know of, or how many people can you count on your hands who's actually investing in this type of, survival tactics? I can't think of many. And the people that I do know that I was associates with, they're all Edomites, co-workers and, of the Edomites that I was working with. They had some sense of knowledge that was doing this. And it was just a few of them. But Jake, none of them. Because Jake relies on the society, which I do as well. But Jake don't think that the society will fall and crumble. But the scriptures say otherwise. Now, I'm saying all that to say this because yesterday, we had a severe power outage, in the city of Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas, and it was severe, Now our power was out for about 6 hours, but what? It came unexpectedly. So these times are coming. These things are about to come unexpectedly, and it's going to be a point where it's going to go from 5 hours to maybe 12 hours, and then it could be days. And then in that time frame, you lose access to your normal daily necessities that you use, like your power that you use for your home, the water system, because my water system ended up messing up after a few hours, like they stated in this video. It wasn't long enough for my refrigeration systems wasn't off long enough for my meat and everything to unthaw where it became waste. But I'm just throwing out that scenario of what happens if this do take place. A lot of people are going to be what? SOL. A lot of people are going to be SOL. And so that's why I'm making and mentioning this in the video. As I was on a live stream with the bros last night, the power went out immediately. And then what took place next? I was actually in a process of charging my phone when I was doing a live stream, trying to get some juice to continue to go further with the live stream, and everything was completely shut off, and I didn't get power till about 3-4 in the morning, and it's been off since 8-9 o'clock. All right. So these type of things are coming, now this is a physical way to prepare, but to throw this out there, there's also a better way to prepare, which is the most important way to prepare is what? The spiritual preparedness. Yes, the physical preparedness is cool, is good. That's using the wisdom of this world by paying attention to what's going on. But you also got to be spiritual with this as well. And the spiritual preparation is above all. All right, Lord willing, I wish I had more time for this video, but let me pull up this scripture actually before I end it. The book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15, it says what? See then that you work circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And this is a part of what? Redeeming the time. Okay? And in these times, you cannot continue to walk around being unwise. You got to be circumspect about these things. And that just clearly showed me, once again, it was a reminder of, yeah, you got to trust in the Lord. Because what if the power was to continue to be out in the streets, and everything was just continue to be dark at night? It's going to get what? It's going to get hectic, because people will see these things when things like this take place to use it for a time of what? Use it for a time to, better themselves. Okay? And a way of bettering themselves is to take from not the less unfortunate, but the people whom can't defend themselves, And who was our defense? Once again, I'm going to go back to the spiritual way of saying it. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's who we're going to use as the hopeful elect, as our defense. Because Esau and his system ain't no defense system. Okay? He is not the way. So that was just a quick hit to the spirit. Lord willing, edifying. I'll continue on my next break. So long.